What is this? Just an unprecedented career move for Barack Obama? Doesn't it mean something more than that? We're going to say, oh, he's an African American. Let's give him a free ride. Let's give him a free ride because there's never been an African American in the White House. We used to sit around the Civil Rights Movement in the 1950s and 60s, around tables after a long day's work in Massachusetts and Washington, D.C. We say, imagine there'd only be an African American president someday. Imagine if the chairs of powerful congressional committees could be African Americans. What a difference that would make. Let me tell you something about corporate power. Corporate power transcends race, color, creed, and sexual preference. It doesn't matter what category you're in, they know how to take you for most of the time. They know how to co-opt you, they know how to control you, they know how to intimidate you, they know how to dilute you. And that's what we have to get through now. We didn't wait all these years for African Americans to have powerful chairs in the Congress, especially the House of Representatives, and in the White House, to forget about their people, to forget about Latinos, to forget about poor whites, who represent 100 million Americans on the lower run of the economic ladder, who are regularly excluded, ridiculed, marginalized, underpaid, overcharged, pushed around, thrown out of adequate services in their own municipality compared to the more affluent areas. And the only time they seem to be respected is when we want them to go fight our criminal wars overseas. Huh? Have you ever seen the pictures of the deceased soldiers? Poor whites, African Americans, Latinos. You see any members of Congress jumping over there? You see Barb and Jenna over there? Bush keeps saying this is a war, it's worth the sacrifice in Iraq. Why don't you sacrifice, Mr. Bush, Mr. Cheney? What do you sacrifice? Franklin Delano Roosevelt's sons went into the Army immediately, and not as officers. Dwight Eisenhower, children in the military. But not this time. This time, these politicians want others to do the dying and fighting. Why not? Look at Bush and Cheney. They were draft dodgers in the 1960s. They wanted the Vietnam War, but they wanted others of their age group to go and die and kill in Vietnam. So, that's what they brought to the White House. I have a simple proposal. Simple bill, one-page piece of legislation. Anytime the Congress and the White House plunge our nation into war, whether unconstitutionally or constitutionally, within 72 hours, all age-qualified children and grandchildren of all members of Congress, the President and the Vice President are drafted into the armed services. That would concentrate their deliberative powers, wouldn't it, before they take the plunge? Let's face it, we've had a runaway White House with a complicit Congress. Never in American history has there been such a multiply impeachable president. He's impeachable and vice president. The American Bar Association, conservative lawyers, to an extraordinary degree, sent 3 reports to Bush in 2005 and 6, documenting 3 areas of serious violations, continually, of the U.S. Constitution by Bush and Cheney. I mean, this is not just some left-wing lawyer group. And what are the high crimes and misdemeanors? Criminal war of aggression in Iraq, number 1. Systemic torture, number 2. Incarceration of thousands of Americans without charges and without allowing them to use the writ of habeas corpus, number 3. Spying on millions of Americans without judicial review until they changed the law with Barack Obama's vote. That was a 5-year jail term, first-class felony that Bush and Cheney were involved in daily. And finally, more signing statements by President Bush and all prior presidents combined. where he signs bills from Congress and then has a statement that says, I'll decide whether to obey this law or not. King George IV emerges. 5 systemic, repeated, daily, serious, high crimes and misdemeanors. And it's not like Watergate, a one-time burglary. It's not like lying under oath about sex. Billy Clinton, this is day after day, and today, and yesterday, and tomorrow. Now, where does the constitutional law lecturer at the University of Chicago stand? Barack Obama? He has been vigorously opposed to initiating impeachment proceedings in the House of Representatives. And why? Because he says it will be divisive. Divisive. Harmony ideology at its peak, isn't it? Divisive. Yeah, it's really divisive for the cops to go after first-class criminals and apprehend them. That really divides people, doesn't it? Shame on him. He is an opportunist. He's very expedient. And the idea that he can turn his back on millions of liberals and progressives who don't want another 4 years of Bush and basically disregard their top priorities for change and transformation of our country and start flirting with a few percentages of votes on the right and start going more and more corporate. I mean, should we reward something like that? At the least, if anybody's going to vote for Barack Obama, they should condition their vote. They can say, like the right wing does to McCain, we're not going to vote for you until you drop your stupefying health insurance plan, which allows the Aetnas and the Cignas and all the gouging, denial of claims for greater profit health insurance industry to continue operating until you champion single payer. And what is his idea of a living wage? Listen to this by the community organizer. He has the phrase living wage on his website. It's $9.50 by the year 2011. Now, in inflation-adjusted dollars, that is less than what it was in 1968. Less than what it was in 1968 now. And you would think that since the economy has doubled worker productivity, workers are producing twice as much in GDP as they did in 1968, they would at least have a minimum wage 3 years from now that was equal to what they had in purchasing power in 1968. Hey, let's get serious here.